Cut out your pieces like the pattern instructs, then measure the front bodice piece plus the collar. To cut your placket piece, make it about 1.5 to 2 inches longer than the measurement you just took. You're going to want to cut 2 of these, 2.5 inches wide for the children's and 3 inches wide for the adults. Interface both pieces. Along the long side of each placket piece, you're going to press under 1/4 inch to the wrong side. Next, you're going to take the front bodice piece and the back piece and attach them at the shoulder seam as instructed in the pattern. Now you're going to take the collar piece and attach it at the neck as instructed in the pattern. Right sides together, place the bottom of the collar with the neck of the bodice. Next, you're going to take your collar lining piece and put it right sides together with the collar. Stitch around the top of the collar with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Next, you're going to finish off the bottom edge of the collar facing. I like to do this by cutting a strip of my knit fabric 1 inch wide and sewing it right sides together to the bottom of the collar facing piece. Now that I've sewn the binding right sides together, I can flip the binding over to cover that seam and stitch it down. This finishes the collar piece nicely. You can also use a bias tape or other finishing method like serging. Now take your placket piece and put it right sides together to the wrong side of the pullover. The collar facing piece will be folded over and you'll match up your collar lines. You're going to leave 1/2 inch at least at the top and at the bottom of the placket piece. Stitch the placket piece to the front piece with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Repeat for the other side. Now that you've sewn the placket to the front, you're going to take the placket piece and fold it right sides together. You want to make sure the piece that you folded 1/4 inch in the beginning stays folded. You're going to match up those pieces and then stitch across the top of the collar. Then you're going to trim the seam so you can turn it right side out. You want to make sure your corner is nice and crisp. You want to repeat for both sides. Once you've sewn both sides, you're going to fold over the placket piece over the stitching line. So flip it so that it covers, the one side covers the stitching line that you made when you attach the placket. Carefully pin all along the seam so that the placket piece covers that line. Then you're going to stitch right along the edge all the way down from the top to the bottom on both sides. Now that you've stitched both sides, you're almost finished. You're ready to make the placket by folding under the wearer's right side so that it matches up with the left side the way the placket should lay. Now you're going to take that right side and fold it under right along the seam line. Then top stitch that placket down so that it stays under. Once you've done that, you're ready to attach your buttons or snaps. Choose your button or snap placement, and then before you sew them down, make sure you either hand stitch or top stitch down the collar lining piece.